Yo, what's up, man? This is your boy Jarrod Dixon, man, of BEMG, Billionaire Eventually Media Group. Y'all pay attention to me and watch and listen to how I came from Def Jam Street Team all the way to hosting my own TV show, and I have a documentary coming out this fall. Pay attention.
Y'all, Hamid Yaz here, another episode of the Heat Tank Season 2. In the studio with us today, we have Jarrod Dixon of Billionaire Eventually Media Group, BEMG. Now, this guy right here has got so much going on. It's really interesting about the brand and the business because how he got started and the transition and the opportunities that have come about have been really interesting. And of course, I'm here in Austin. He's, in Austin. We're moving around. We cross paths. So I brought him on the show because when it comes to entertainment, he's tackling it from so many different angles. So I want to introduce to y'all Jarrod Dixon, and we want to share his story on not just how he's building his personal brand, but the brands of others, and of course, how the business behind it happens, as well as hosting one of the shows, and I think probably one of the longest running shows in Austin, probably 30 years now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, 30 years.
Let me introduce y'all to Jarrod Dixon.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me, Hamid. Man, I appreciate you, bro. It's been a while since we've had a chance to sit down and catch up, man.
Yeah. Last time I think we actually sat down, I was running Stumpy's dessert business. Yep.
Yes. Stumpy's ruined my diet a few times, all that fun stuff, man. I miss it. I'm trying to get you back in the kitchen and make me some more chocolate, man. That was fire.
It's funny because when people talk to me about bring back Stumpy's, do this, do that, it's kind of like one of these athletes that go out of retirement, and now I'm like, no, man, I'm good where I'm at. but it's funny you bring that up just real quick is the reason why Stumpy's, I don't know if you even know this, but the reason why Stumpy's was actually created was just to prove to the world that I could build a brand.
Yeah. I remember you said that you were like, if I pitch it and it goes further, oh, that's awesome, but I'm going to give myself like 3 to 5 years to do it, run it, and grow it. And like you literally stuck to your plan. That's what the funny part about that is. I watched you, I was like, who is this guy on my timeline? Wait, where's Stumpy? Oh, no, but I'm happy for your progression, man. Glad to see where you are now. And like you said, the growth. And I just think throughout life, that is the evolution, man. We are supposed to evolve and adapt for every situation, So, and as you mentioned, that's really my story, man. It's, we talked a little bit off camera and everything, but that's been my evolution, man. Like I'll give the short version of how I found, my acting niche. For those that don't know, I've been doing music, man, for 15 years now because I originally started as a street team person working for Def Jam. That's how I got my early start. I was the guy that you would know everybody.
Was it like during South by type of events, or when exactly was it?
No, it was random, February shows, September shows. They were like, hey, man, we're looking for street team people to help promote and push. Okay. And so I was like, sure, I'll do it.
But who was on Def Jam at that time, though? Who in particular do you remember?
Ghostface Killer, Hoobastank.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah, Hoobastank. Mastodon, the rock group Mastodon. Oh, my goodness. I think Jay was just leaving Rockefeller. They were just leaving Def Jam, and they were finishing the completion of the Island Def Jam deal. Because as a matter of fact, when I came in, they were called Island Def Jam. I had to change how I was promoting the company.
I see.
So, from there, I left that, went to Trill Entertainment, which everybody knows Trill Entertainment. Shouts out H-Town. All my boys down there. Got my start with that, and then next thing I know, I ended up working with Worldwide Entertainment, which is the management company for Scarface down in Houston. Shouts out to my boy Big Texas. Much love for him. Met a few guys, the Texas Renegade, and like I said, I was doing booking events and things like that for Scarface. So after doing it a while, I was like, I'm making all these people all this money. Why not do this for myself? So I had the idea. It wasn't super thought out, but I said, man, you know what? I'm going to do it.
What year was this, by the way?
God, what year was that? 2008 is when I thought of it.
Right when the economy crashed.
Yeah, had a tragic event though happen. My cousin got killed, and because we're both the same age, so
Yeah, yeah.
he was about a week from his 30th birthday, and I was 6 months from my 30th birthday, and
Wow.
I'm looking like, wait, he was almost 30, he got killed, and I'm like, do I want to keep wasting time like this, thinking and hoping?
Yep.
So I spent the next year plotting my move, planning. I quit my job May 29th, 2009.
Okay.
Like I told you, had some money saved, played too hard in the stock market, lost it. So I literally had to build this thing from scratch, from like almost $0, as I love to say, because
from straight hustle.
Yeah, straight up grind,
hustle.
man. And I got on my grind, man. You know, from there I built a label. 2010, we became official. 2011 is when I officially put the paperwork on it and license and everything. And I just hit the ground running, man. I started out social media campaign. Now this was before Facebook grew to what it is, before there was an Instagram.
Yep.
As Twitter was growing.
No TikTok, no Snapchat.
None of that. It was pure organic, just, hey, man, go follow, listen to my music. That was, matter of fact, LimeWire was still around.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know, I used to love them. You know, I could share my music and not have to worry about it, pay costs. So, and just natural progression, man. I kept going. About 2015-ish, which is closer to the time where we met, I had hit just this like wall almost, man. I was doing a contract for Home Depot. I was doing IT support. That's my background. And I just wasn't happy. You know, even though I was still running my company.
You're stuck to a desk all day long.
Yeah, you know, and then I was looking at the artists I had on my label at the time. They had lost, I wanted either that passion or that drive. I don't know what it was, but they just hit a point where they weren't making any music. We weren't putting out any new content. And by 2015, which like I said, which is around the time you met me, my brand had gotten legs. Like people had started noticing my name, my brand, and I was like.
But the personal brand or the business brand though?
The business brand.
The business brand.
BEMG. Okay. They had started recognizing. Like I said, by that time I had just created this huge logo that I have on my hat and shirt.
Yeah.
And so it was giving us visibility, and so people were starting to recognize, reach out. And then I had the opportunity during South by 2015 to assist as well as host my very own first South by Southwest show, which was awesome. I had ESG perform. He headlined my event. And
I had a marketing event with ESG.
That's my dog. Yeah, I saw that. I remember that. Yeah.
We were just, not to interrupt, but we were at a slab barbecue talking about brand builders. We named it Brand Builders. I didn't think about it,
Yeah, I remember. The slab barbecue joint. Yeah, I remember that whole venture you had going, man. So and like from there, like I was able to. I mentioned the 311 Club. I was working with them, and that was the year. Well, he goes by Pope Sinatra now, but at the time he was known as Syndrome. He was like, "Hey, man, we're doing this event for 311. I need some help bringing in artists. Do you know anybody?" I was like. Of course I know some people.
Were you tying with acting at this point? Not yet.
I hadn't even. I was
not yet. We're getting
on
to
the
that.
road to acting because it all happened around that same time. I made the phone call, got some artists in for him, you know, and I was like, wow, okay, they came in. I mean, we're talking big name at the time like Elle Varner, Adrienne Marcel, Justine Scott, who's currently the CoverGirl model. She's the face of Guess. Like she is killing it right now as a singer and actress and model. As a matter of fact, she's in How High 2. She's the black girl in How High 2. Yeah. That's her, Justine Scott. So, we pulled some things, and then I went back to my desk job. Oh, God. After all of this exciting stuff.
The reality is you still have to pay the car payment, the cell phone, the this or that, because everything else takes time.
Correct.
And we've all gone through it at some point, but it's like reality and then the fun stuff. Like you said.
And I went back to that, and I'm like, this isn't it. You know how you hit something and you can just tell in yourself and you can feel
you taste the other side.
Yeah, and you're like, man, I'm dying slowly. Like, this isn't the life I planned for myself to stay here for another 20, 30 years and then just retire and sit. No, this isn't it. Yeah. And so, unfortunately, they offered me a full-time gig to actually work for them, for Home Depot. And I'm like, man, I'm really like finna quit. I'm like, in my mind, I'm saying I'm like a day or two from giving y'all my 2-week notice that like I'm finna be done with the contract. I don't want to do this anymore. And we went on, and then by about June, things happened They let me go. I wanted to leave, so it was kind of a yes. Finally, I'm free.
Yeah. Did you get a little check too, or?
Yeah, I got a couple checks,
Yeah.
to hold me over. And then I was like, well, what am I going to do? And so I was scrolling and I found this ad. They were like, hey, be in a movie and this. And I was like, a movie, huh?
Was it what kind of ad? Was like Craigslist ad?
No, it was actually on TWC, man, on the workforce website, dude.
Really?
It was.
So we're looking for extras or whatever it was.
Yeah, that's exactly what it said. I was like,
Okay.
extra, huh? I was like, sure, why not? And they were like, okay, we're going to book you. What? Okay, what do I do? Just show up, and they tell me the whole thing. Like, we're going to email you the call list, and the call time, and you just show up at this location. We'll take care of everything from there. We'll have your wardrobe, and I was yeah. I was like, all right, cool. I went, I did it. I was like, okay, it seems kind of cool, and I finished the whole summer on the show, The Leftovers. Shouts out to everybody, man. See, I'm in season 1. I'm in season 2 and season 3.
What channel is it?
HBO, The Leftovers.
Okay.
Yeah, got my first one, and so they made me a what do they call it? Featured extra. So I'm heavily featured, like as a fireman, and then as a townsperson. So you see me with the main actors, Regina King and Kevin Carroll. You see me in scenes with them, interacting, doing things with them.
That's cool.
Feature, even though I didn't have any lines, but I was like, dang, y'all put me right in it. Well, it so happened as that wrapped that fall, the same people were shooting the show. I don't know if you remember American Crime. They were filming here with Andre 3000 and a lot of different people. Had a chance to meet him.
Was it same production company or
same casting company? They were
casting company.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they called me in for that, and I was like, sure, I'll do it. Let's keep going. And I went to that. So you see me in American Crime. I have a couple good scenes with the main actors and stuff. And next thing you know, I was like, the bug, it bit me, It was like, hey, this is a good way to...
Denzel is coming.
Yeah, it's like I can build me up and then keep my brand relevant at the same time.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, that's what I was thinking with all of the move that I made is... how can I not let my brand die? Because as you heard me mention a moment ago, the artists I was currently working with, they had just really stopped putting out music. They just, life was coming at them. And I get life, but I'm like, dude, this is your career. We're making something like,
true.
Come on, what are we going to do? So they just kind of, I don't know, sat there twiddling their thumbs. I was like, man, I'm not letting my brand die. So that's how I made the decision to do acting.
I see what you're saying.
And so I just kept going. It was working for me. I was blessed and fortunate, man.
And this 2015-ish?
This 16, is, 17? Going into the fall, winter 2015 at this point, yeah. So, yeah, I'm not even a full 5 years in. I want to say my 5-year mark will be July of this year, somewhere around that time.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing for me, the ride, man, because from there I went, 2016, I was featured or starred in 2 commercials. One's a Mike's Hard Lemonade commercial. Yeah. Then the other was a Shiner Bot commercial.
Were you a delivery guy? Was it?
Yeah, Shiner, I was the delivery guy.
Right?
Yeah, Shiner, I was the delivery guy. Yeah,
That's okay. I remember that. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
And we were the first Shiner video to almost hit 1 million views.
Wow.
The advertiser contract ended, so they had to pull the video, but we were at 997,773 views. Wow. We were about to be the very first Shiner video to ever reach 1 million views on YouTube.
Wow.
Which I'm very fortunate. Thank y'all, man. Everybody that watched that commercial loved us.
The video is fully gone off of YouTube now?
Well, it's back now. A new advertiser rebought the contract, which I'm happy they sent me a new check. So I got my contract renewed, and so we have another 2 years now.
Hold on. Okay, so I'm just quite curious now. So if Shiner Bach pays an ad agency or whoever to make the to create the spot, as they call them, or whatever it is, the creative, don't they own it and they keep it on their YouTube? Or
well, Shiner owns it. Well, Shiner owns it, but because they contracted with this advertiser to have them push it and run it for a 2-year time period. Once the contract is over, that company's footage, as they called it, had to be pulled, so they renegotiated with the advertiser and people that created it, and so they renewed our contract. And so since they renewed it, they mailed me a check like, hey, here's another check, for doing it, and we renewed you. Thank you, appreciate y'all.
It wasn't a lifelong buyout kind of to where we can endlessly use this. There was a timestamp on it, basically.
Correct. Yeah. Okay, even if they go back, renew it, I get paid again. Which, thank y'all, appreciate it.
I see.
That's the perks of the acting that I like versus a little bit of the music. You know what I mean?
I see.
And yeah, as I built my personal brand by being in a part of movies. I mean, I was in a big. I had a small part in a big major production, Alita, which everybody knows Robert Rodriguez. He's an Austin kid, you know. So I had a nice role in there. I'm literally in the movie from the beginning to the end. You know, half human cyborg person. So which is awesome. I thank you, Robert, for that. That was so awesome. I mean, and that's one of the things as you hear me talk, man. The excitement about it is that the progression, because throughout all of this now, I'm still distributing music. I'm still promoting the artists that I currently have on my label, and I'm meeting more and more people as I'm still doing my own acting to keep my brand, to create me a brand for myself, but to keep my media company relevant.
Yeah.
So, like I said, mid 2016 did all these commercials. Like I counted them the other day. I think I have like 13 commercials. 2 of them I've never ever seen. Like I don't even know where they're aired at right now.
They're in Dubai, bro.
I'm probably as famous as can be over there, selling. What was it? One of those technical schools. You know how like what is it, like the Rise and stuff like that. So yeah. I've never even ever seen it, man. And
wow.
Just to be able to like be here though. I mean, like I said, during the process, I'm still doing the music thing. Like 2016, I was fortunate to some of the guys I work with in a company called The Board that we created.
Okay.
We hosted the Wu Radio, which is the satellite radio company that the Wu-Tang, the Wu, they actually own it, run it. So we hosted them here for 11 days during South by Southwest 2016. So, I'm doing that on top of still acting, still showing up in a commercial, still finding a gig. And I said later that winter in 2016, I got cast to go do Alita as the half-human cyborg person. Then just fast forward through 2017, 2018, I'm still working in commercials and popping up in different web series. Shouts out to Rooster Teeth. They're a big supporter of the Austin Film Commission, all of us. They put me in it in two of their movies. And then, one of their movies, and then their sketch comedy show called $1 Million. But they let me co-star in that. And then on their movie Bloodfest, I got a lot of shine with myself and a bunch of other guys. We were the butchers. Like, I have a cool kill scene where I cut a dude in half with a chainsaw.
Damn.
Like, it was dope. They gave me a chance to explore this thing called acting, and I really can say that I love business. Don't get me wrong, I love using my mind, creating businesses and, running and doing the things I do. But acting is like my thing. You know what I mean? It's like where I can just kind of be creative and express myself. So I enjoy it. I truly enjoy acting. I like being on set. It's as weird as it sounds. I get peace when I'm on set. Like when I'm away from here, you've seen me. I have 3 phones. 2 of them are ringing or going off constantly, and one of them, like I said, the only reason that doesn't ring a lot because nobody knows the phone number.
That's what do they call it? That's the other phone.
Yeah, the other phone. You have to be privileged. I think my mother is the only one, and she still calls me on my other phone. That's what's crazy. So, and like
ESG told me that one time.
Yeah, he's like me. I got that from him too.
Yeah, we were here in Austin. Where were we? Just real quick. He was doing an event somewhere, one of these spots, and I went to go link up with him, and he said something because he got Rocky. Rocky's his. I think Rocky's still managing him.
Oh, for real? Yeah. I remember Rocky. Yeah.
Rocky. And he had a phone, then he had the other phone. He goes, "This is the phone that nobody calls because I ain't giving nobody this number yet." Or something along those lines. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's it, man. I mean, you need that one where I can do not disturb and just go off, like, okay, I'm going to go off the grid for a while.
Yep.
And, I said, fast forward through 2017 with all the Alita and... I don't remember what else I did in 2000. I literally have to look at my IMDb to try to remember all that stuff. But through all that hard work, man, an opportunity came late fall 2017 to actually appear on Fear the Walking Dead season 4.
Okay.
And
that was all shot here in Austin, or?
Yeah, that was when they shot it here in Austin. I think it's still shot in Austin somewhere. I'm not sure on that.
Yeah, Danny was there too. Danny Trevino.
He wasn't on that one. He was on, who was in that one? Lenny James. They brought in Jenna Elfman, a lot of big name people to help push the season 4. And yeah, man, I was fortunate not only to be like stadium resident featured background, which technically I didn't die.
Yeah, yeah.
Just, FYI, only y'all know that. I exposed the secret. I technically didn't die on that episode, but on the show. But then I went to doing what's called stand-in roles, for the main characters like Lenny and Chill, and just that helped me get into the inner workings of the business because it's different being an actor and you're in front. They give you your lines, you've read them, remembered them, and everything. So now you're standing in front of the camera delivering them.
You're just a robot that does a skit, or not a skit, a scene.
Correct.
You're just like, do this, okay, move, next, da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
You're just like cattle that come and go. But now, what do you mean by the inner workings of the business?
Well, as a stand-in, you technically work for the director of photography or the camera department. That's who you work for. And so working for him, I had a chance to actually, as I'm standing there, literally, as they're setting up the shot, but I get a chance to actually see lighting, understand why they're putting bounces and certain negatives, as they call them. And I'm understanding, well, what does that do? And he would show me, see this look, and then we're going to add the filter in editing and final edit, and this is how it will look, and that's why it looks the way it does on the show. I was like,
Cool.
okay, cool. Yeah, and I can say through the progression as I've gotten to this point now of shooting and editing videos for my artists that are on my label, as well as just creating my own content in general.
Yeah.
I understand a lot about lighting, angles, and getting the right angle, camera, getting balance. It's like,
It
I
makes
paid
sense
attention.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, through all that, man, that's why I said I know I kind of probably lost everybody, but I mean, from 2010-ish, 9-ish, really, to 2020, I've built the BEMG brand by pushing music, pushing and stepping up the media content. Like I said, I had to learn out of necessity because of a limited budget. I had to learn how to do graphics. I had to learn how to actually build a website. And like I said, pre Snapchat, Instagram, Vine, all of this stuff, it was just the Facebook. Not Facebook, but the Facebook. 2007 Facebook, we're talking, before it grew. And we just had Twitter. So I had to use the tools available to me. And I learned...
MySpace. Remember MySpace?
Oh, God, MySpace. Yeah, mine's still active for the record. My page is still active, too, man. That's what's wild.
Didn't Justin Timberlake supposedly buy it, or what was the whole thing with that? Like,
he wanted to, but I don't even think it ever went through, man.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, Facebook might buy MySpace. I was like, God, no. We have Facebook. They own Twitter and Instagram. Let them leave Facebook. Leave
no, I don't
MySpace
think they don't own Twitter.
Oh, Twitter didn't complete the deal?
No. That's Jack Dorsey, CEO, and they have not sold to anybody. Twitter right now is like the bottom of the barrel. Well, Snapchat and Twitter are like the low end as far as valuations, because, I mean, it was in news and people just throwing socially, Twitter isn't what it was 7 to 10 years ago. I got off Twitter in 2011, put it like that.
Yeah, I've been on the gram 5 years, so since about 2015. Even though I still have stuff that will post on Twitter. Yeah, I haven't interacted.
But actively, you're not really daily. Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I used to be, though, man. Like, Twitter jokes, I think what ruined it was I went through that moment of the relationship, and why are you on Twitter at 3 in the morning? And I'm like, I'm talking to a promoter, and that causes a big argument. But in my line of work, because I was independent, I run my own company, and like I said, I take pride in running and handling everything. Like, it's not saying like, oh man, I'm just so tired, I don't want to do this. No, I truly love it. Like, because I love to learn and I absorb things very quickly.
It's time consuming, but it's rewarding and fun.
Yeah.
And satisfaction for oneself as well.
It's like I mentioned to you off camera, like through the progression, I've, like I said, right now I've been, in this year, 2019, 2020, I've been blessed to host Magic Video, which is the longest running show here at Austin Public. We celebrate 30 years on the 22nd, which is Saturday.
Yeah. But how did that all happen, though?
Well, yeah, let's rewind real quick. 2015, like I said, it's when I met Pope Sinatra, or at the time he was Syndrome.
Okay.
he was rapping, different things happened, and by 2019, early 2019, we were finally able to sit down and do a deal. So he was like, I have an idea for a label, and I want you to help me build my label. Because he watched me do a few other things, and then, like I said, we've done a few business deals together where we're very lucrative for ourselves.
Yeah.
So he was like, man, I know you know what you're doing. I know, I trust you. Can you, help me build this? So over the last year, that's what we've been doing, building his brand called The Clergy Austin. That's the name of his label. Clergy, because his name, Pope Sinatra, it all kind of blends together.
But is it like events as well, or just him as an artist?
Right now, it's just building The Clergy as him as an artist and as a brand itself.
Okay.
Because that's actually what I do through my company is I do brand building, create social media content, as well as the musical and digital content distribution.
I see.
So through what we're doing is we've streamlined, which I think we follow each other, so we know you've been seeing all the content. So it's first, let's put the content out there in everybody's face. Let's let them see what we're doing. Hey, you have this. And a lot of people came to me and were like, why aren't you guys promoting a single? Why aren't you? We have too much content to pull one particular single. Plus, we learned early on in November of 2018 is when November 2018 we put out a project, and we were pushing a song called Creamy off of this particular project by the same name, Creamy. Well, the fans listened to it, and they decided we like Nacho Libre, which is one of the songs, right? Even right to this day, it's still our highest streaming song. It's still the song, like, people love that song.
And that one came out, what year did that one come out?
We put it all out, that project, 2018.
Okay.
Yes, November 2018. And it's still, like, killing it right now. People want to, like, they have forced us to shoot a video for it. You know what I mean? Which is dope. That's really what we want, and that's the thing, too, man, to anybody. As you're building your business, you have to pay attention to the data because, I know Jay-Z said numbers don't lie, but no, numbers are very important. You know what I mean?
Numbers give you a lot of information on what you need to do next.
Correct.
Or slacking on, too.
That's true. It shows you, like in our case, it showed our demographic. It showed which particular song was doing good in what particular area. Mm-hmm. So as I go back to sit down with these guys and help develop the marketing approach, help them develop their brand, I can show them what's working, what's not working, what tweaking we need to do, and here and there. So throughout all 2019, late 2018, all through 2019, all we did was flood the market with content. So it's 24 projects total out there right now.
Oh, wow.
14 mixtape, actually 25. I'm lying. 20. I made it a point to do 25. I wanted to hit 25. So we have 25 projects out there. 11 retail projects, meaning on Apple Music, Spotify, things of that nature, and then 14 mixtapes, which can be found between SoundClick and SoundCloud. You can go download all of their music and content they put out. Okay. I have a habit of saying our because I take, it's my baby. I appreciate him believing in me enough to say, hey, will you help me build my brand?
Be part of this.
Yeah, because he could have chosen anybody, and then those who know him know his family background. His dad is a well-known, still, selling records, type of blues singer. Like he passed away.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, his dad is the late Joe Valentine Sr.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he comes from a legacy of music, and I'm honored for when I actually remembered who his dad was, and I started looking. I was like, dog, I remember seeing him and this and that, and hearing his music over the years from my parents. Yeah.
And I've known Syndrome for probably 10 years at least.
Yeah.
No, maybe. Hold on.
Maybe it had to be longer than that because you remember the freestyle battles, and those were.
Hold on. Did they do not to get off track, but was he with Gutter Gang when they shot the video with Michael Watts at Club Fuse called Heisman?
Yep.
Okay, I was there.
He wrote that. He helped write that song, Heisman.
Okay, that was 14 years. I can't remember, but anyways, I was there with Will Hustle. Me, Will Hustle, AJ
Will Hustle
Johnson.
TV, yeah.
AJ
that would have been
Johnson
2008, 2009-ish.
Maybe even earlier. I don't know.
Well, no, because Gutter Gang, they were tearing up Spiros
No,
in like 2005, 2006.
Maybe it was, I don't know, 07, 08, 09, somewhere around there. But I remember they said, Mike Watts or something. I thought it was Michael Watts at first from Houston.
Yeah.
And then it was a dude named Mike Watts from like Kansas City or whatever. And then AJ Johnson came, was rolling dice in the street, and the cops came. And
Yep.
but then there was an issue with the song Heisman.
So they changed it to Game Time. It became Game Time or something like that.
Yeah, whatever the issue. I mean, I don't know all the details. But anyways, so I think that's originally when I started paying attention to Syndrome and who he was and all of his boys in the camp and all this and that. But I still got, now that I think, I just don't know what hard drive it's on, but I'm almost positive I have, because I did all the behind the scenes of that video shoot.
Oh, wow.
So I've got that like OG classic footage right there.
Dude, that would be awesome for the next part of this documentary I'm going to do.
Yeah, I have to just look one day, dig up in the crates. But I'm almost positive I've got it because, anyways.
Wow.
Moving on.
Yeah, Gutter Gang. Yeah, he loved that because, man, we talk about Gutter Gang and Legion of Poon, his whole career. Because I actually remember Gutter Gang. And like I said, you heard me say the Spiros thing. I remember, all that fun stuff, fun times at Spiros, man. So, and man, that's like it, dude. Throughout it, even with him, I can say he hasn't lost his passion for it, the creativity. He's not on skill. I believe he would be able to rap till he's 95. That's not even an issue. I think it's
like
still
Fatal, OG Fatal.
Yeah,
my dog.
He's got to be, but I think it's that passion though, man. Even like we look at Snoop, like almost 50 years old doing this thing. A lot of these guys, but they still have that passion, that love for it because it's just in them. It's something that they wanted to do and they want to do it. So
I see.
And I think, in my opinion, that's been what has helped me get to where I am. Been helping a lot of people I know in the same industry keep the perseverance, keep the drive, keep going. Because as you heard me mention in the beginning, I started out doing this for free. That's how much I love music. I love the process. I love being involved in this whole thing we call music and entertainment.
Yeah.
But I know the reality is I got to pay bills. You know what I mean? I like to eat. I mean, I can't do all these things for free. And just because, somebody might think I'm cute or handsome, you know what I'm saying?
It's got to amount to something eventually.
Correct,
And that's, and speaking of, before I forget, let me, or remind me, do you got a pop artist on the lineup or not really?
I don't, but I am always looking for new talent.
Okay.
And I will sign them because the way I've pride myself on is I help build the company, not necessarily the artist, do the artist development. So, like the previous labels I worked with, like I mentioned, the Def Jam, the Trill Entertainment, Worldwide Entertainment, they were already established.
Yeah.
I just kind of came in and did legwork and groundwork.
Yeah.
So as I build mine, and the previous artists I worked with, Joe Billionaire, his Armor Truck Music, and then Chuck
Sweet.
Paid
attention how they did it, too.
Correct. Yeah. And that's what, like, the legwork, like, what many people don't know is there's a process prior to these tours getting set up in certain places. Like, I remember, and it just so happened, it's weird how long it took to actually come about, but the Legends of the South tour that they did about 3 years ago, roughly, well, we started the process back in 2009, 2010 of calling, getting venues, getting lists made of places and promoters, because with hip-hop music, as we all know here in the city of Austin, we can only play it in certain places. We're only accepted into certain clubs, certain bars, certain places. So we had to actually call the old school way, pick up the phone, get a list of phone numbers off of Google, call every last one of these venues. Hey, do y'all do hip-hop music? Do y'all do live hip-hop music?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we don't do live. We have a DJ top 40. So you have to go through the whole list.
And then ownership changes so much also is...
Correct.
When a lot of these bars or clubs, I mean, we might have been used to, was a hot spot 2-3 years ago. When you're trying to do something for an advance or whatever, it's like, these guys, obviously, the bar industry, club industry, the failure rate is so high. Like, you might say, yeah, my boy Mike or my boy Carlos or whoever it is owns XYZ.
Yeah.
16 months later, they might not own that no more. So now your connect is totally gone.
Or even in our case, the promoters stop
they come
promoting.
And go.
Yeah, like by that time we're trying to reach out to this dude. Oh man, I work at such and such now, man, or I got a job. I done had kids and got married, and it's like, oh crap, here we go again. Let's start from scratch. Find a new promoter. Find who's doing this, and so that's the backside to this thing. And like I said, because we don't have the industry machine behind us, we're an indie 100%, and I'm proud to be indie. Don't misunderstand my statement. I am 100%
You
proud.
keep more of every dollar.
Correct.
That's the upside.
My overhead is very low.
Yes.
Very. I'm doing it like this for a reason, to show you how low my overhead is.
Remember what Master P said?
Yep. Be smart.
No, yeah, and he said they want to give me they only want to give me 15%. He goes, that ain't enough to pay the rent.
Hell
So
no.
that's why he structured No Limit how he did, obviously,
Yeah.
back in the day, and he kept more on every dollar.
And you should. You know, I ran into that, like, well, why are you keeping so much? Well, let me show you what it is that I do.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm creating your graphics, I'm creating your album covers, I'm creating your social media campaign, I'm creating your website, I'm helping develop and create the content that even goes on there,
Yeah.
should not be compensated? I said, because let me explain to you the records company structure. Okay? You made $100,000. Well, out of that $100,000, there are administrative assistants, office workers, and everybody that has to get paid their monthly salary. Or they've been paid, so now the company needs to reimburse for their salary. Because A&R is an office position.
Yeah.
So they have to pay this person for working in the office their salary each week, whether you perform well or you don't. But because in their job, they came and helped you and developed you and helped your brand and pushed you and managed you, they're required
Money comes
to get
from
paid.
somewhere.
You know, so as you slowly start to break it down, okay, you had to pay the graphic designer. We had to pay the studio, which had to pay their light bill to help you, and pay the engineer and pay, because there's an artist right now, Trina, she's going through that with bad management and people on her team, to where she has a project out.
She wasn't slip and slide?
No, she's I forgot the label. She started her own, and then she signed it to another label. Yeah, and so because of a bad deal with a business partner who mismanaged the money, they didn't pay everybody that was supposed to get paid. Instead of the record company putting the project out and paying to make money and pay everybody, they pulled the project because 10 of the producers didn't get paid on the project.
Oh, hell.
And instead of them, they're like, no, we want our money first before you put that project out and try to get your money. But they were like, we allotted it, and the whole backstory, you know what I mean?
Big mess.
Yeah, big mess. So I didn't want those type of things happening in my label. I saw, like I said, I had seen, like I said, we came up in the whole putting up on the record label. You know, hey, everybody pull up. You know, I remember when Ice Cube pulled up Priority and all that stuff. Actually, that was a real story. They didn't just put that in a movie to be putting it in there. That really happened. You know, and when Death Row was that label where they move like a mob, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, you had to kind of get like that, like with Steve Stout, even, you know what I mean, and that whole deal with him and Diddy and all that.
Remember Southwest Wholesale here in Texas?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Southwest Wholesale, when they were ripping artists off by double barcode, something with the barcodes and this and that. And I remember back in Carnival Beats, you know.
Well, what it is
Saline
in the barcode,
would tell me they had to roll up to Southwest Wholesale.
Because what they would do is you would submit yours, because people, and this is a quick short version of a class. Each UPC is purchased by each individual retailer, meaning Walmart's barcode that you see on all of their products, those first 8 numbers, I believe, 6 or 8 numbers in there, they tell the system that this product and this money is designated to go to Walmart. Okay. The rest of those numbers behind there are the brand codes. So meaning the Johnson & Johnson brands, the SC Johnson, everybody has the last 4. Well, each retailer, in our case, in music, we buy our barcodes. Okay. And so some do, some don't. You know what I mean? Those that have bought them.
Because sometimes they recycle them.
Sometimes they will, yeah. And then the label, like certain distributors, they'll let you distribute under theirs, which is why they take a percentage of your sales.
I see.
So what they were doing, artists would send their stuff in with their barcode to be coded and sold, so they could get their money, and they would pay them. I see. Hey, okay, well, you want 10% off everything I got 1,000 discs, I'm selling for $10. Okay, here's your 10% out the door.
Yeah, well, so whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah, so they'd get paid up front, but what they turn around and do is repress them up with their barcode on it. So not only were they getting your money up front on that end, they're selling it and collecting another 10% on the backside, you know, or whatever they're, you know, selling for wholesale, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's a whole double dipping, man. You have to watch out for that. Like,
I think that's what happened with Southwest Wholesale back in the day, because they were like the number one distributor. Of course, times change and discs aren't as relevant as they were 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But this is like 05-ish or whatever. And I remember was it Salih, Kareem, Tomar, all of them,
Yep.
and one of the brothers, because they were dealing with multi-million dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Yep.
and big distribution. They were telling me we had to go to Southwest Wholesale.
Yeah.
And we're ready. We're ready to box because we want the money. We want the disc. We need to figure this out because
Yep.
that's why Southwest Wholesale went down because they were doing some janky type
Yeah,
business.
they figured out how to double dip,
Yeah.
and they should have just been getting theirs, and the
and not
product wasn't
paying
gonna come
certain
out.
people.
Yeah, and that's man, as sad as it sounds, that's been the industry, man, and I'm glad that in the last probably 5 or 6 years, it has come to the point where us as indie labels, we have more control over what's going on, how we do this stuff, how we make it.
Yeah.
Because there's distribution outlets right now, I won't call their names, but
Yeah.
they charge you a fee up front. And, then they're like, oh, well, no, you get this. They only take a certain percentage, but I don't do that. Like, even through my chain and my network, we don't charge you on the front end. I collect all mine on the back end.
Yeah.
Even with my artists, different people I work with, that's why I'm so passionate and why I work so hard, but also why when you come to me, I gauge your level of seriousness because you
can filter out BS real quick, I'm assuming.
Correct, because the one thing I tell my artists, I don't get paid unless you get paid.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing anything to help you get paid, that means you're not helping me get paid. So I will not depend on a man to feed me. And I came up with that 4 years ago, roughly, about the time I went into acting, because that's what I had sat down. I had to sit down and look at. That's ultimately what I was doing. I was leaving my life and my livelihood in the hands of a company, a couple artists who had gotten to a complacency point, or maybe life was whooping their ass or something like that. I don't know what was really 100% going on.
Yeah.
But no new content was coming out.
It was just an autopilot.
Yeah, we weren't creating any videos, which was, I explained that that's my next point where I need some visuals to be able to introduce you to the world.
Yeah.
One of them flat out told me, he's like, no, I just want to focus on making beats. I don't want to perform. But you have at the time he had 4 discs worth of music out where he was rapping over the songs. But then you tell me people are calling me, ask me, can they get you for a show? Oh, I don't want to perform, man. I just want to be a producer. I just want to only do the beats and, focus on that. And then the other guy, I'm like, okay, well, you want to perform, which is fine, but I can't get you to shoot a video. I was like, dog, even if you're just in your car, like this was pre all these great phones we have now with all this super high def cameras. I was like, if you can just shoot a video of yourself riding in your car for me, rapping to your song, give me a couple of other videos of somebody like you, get your girl or whoever at the time to just shoot a video of you walking down the street. I know how to edit and make it look like something.
Make it be something,
Yeah, like help me help you. And they hit that point where they weren't helping themselves, help me, anything. So I was like, you know what? Like I said, I'm not going to let my brand die. I worked too hard to build this BEMG thing.
Yeah.
And then as a man, I said, I'm depending on these people to feed me. If they don't work, I don't eat.
Mm-hmm.
I need to find some way to make sure I'm eating. Regardless of what they do, I'm actually eating. And so that's how Jarrod Dixon, the actor, came about. And I built him. Now he has. I don't mean to speak of myself in third person, but
this is your acting going on right here.
Exactly. Yeah, this is showing. I'm telling on myself.
Yeah.
But that brand has legs of its own now to the point that
it has a check coming in.
Correct. And through meeting Charles Hall, who was the original host, well, not the original, but the previous host of Magic Video, he knew my artist Poppy Cannon, like on a personal level.
Well, let people know first, because we only have a few more minutes, but let them know what is Magic Video, first of all, for those not in Austin. Give the 20-second brief and then get into how you got tied into that, which is something that happened more recently, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, like in March of last year. Magic Video is the last of the live music video TV shows, meaning we have a category of a lot of our local talent who may not have had the normal opportunity to get their videos seen. They submit their videos to us. We bring them on the show for 15, 20-minute interviews. I do 2 different interview segments with each one of the artists. And yeah, we like I said, we lasted, like I said, February 22nd will be 30 years.
Wow.
Unfortunately for us, the executive producer, creator, Kedrick Stanley, has decided that he would like to hang his hat up and move on to different things in life, which I respect. 30
Oh,
years
wow.
it is, so 2:00, no, 1:30 p.m. Central Time will be our final farewell show.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that because I know Brother K, a friend of mine for 15 years, probably,
Yeah.
he was a host. Kendrick was more in the back, I believe.
Yep, he's the
Doing the
production stuff.
and such. So let me ask you this just real quick. How many actual hosts have there been? So you, Brother K was one, and prior to him, who was it?
Let's see, Brother K, it was Miss Red. She got a cooking show where she does a cooking show. Then Brother K, then a guy named Matt, Charles Hall, who was the host prior to me getting the position back in March. And I met him. He knew my artist, Poppy Cannon, and asked us to come on as guests.
Okay, so maybe like 5 hosts in 30 years.
Five, maybe 6 hosts in 30 years.
5 and 30, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
Which is real good, which is damn good.
Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, so how did you, because we got a few more minutes, but how did you get tied in to that with Poppy Cannon? And
we came on, did an interview, and then I mentioned to him again about, hey, I wanted to bring my guys back because we were dropping a new video. And that's when Charles said, "Oh man, I don't host it anymore. I quit. Whatever." He had to go to college. He was in college working on his master's.
Okay.
So he's like, "I need to focus so I can graduate." I was like, "Cool, not a problem." I reached out to Kedrick and sent him my resume, like my actual acting resume. Like, hey, this is what I do. I actually have commercials. I'm actually comfortable in front of the camera. So March 31st of last year, he gave me the opportunity to host the first show, which it just took off from there. I had my guy Boss Martinez, Lil Simba, all them, the whole IE 512 family. Shouts out to them. They came on, and because of familiarity, it made the first show real easy. And from there, it's just been a freaking ride, man. Like I said, been hosting the show almost a year now. Throughout, of course, I'm still acting, still appearing in commercials. Multiple people, like I'll be honest, man. Y'all had to go to my IMDb and look it up. I had forgotten all the stuff I've been in. I tried to name them off, but then I kept saying the same. I was like, wait a minute, I had to actually cheat and pull my IMDb up myself. So I mean, that's a good problem to have, y'all. I thank God for it, man. Where I'm at, the people I've been blessed to work with. I mean, even like I said, meeting you in your Stumpy's days, but just listening to the things you had to say about business, helped me. Because even in your approach, you were like, nah, man, this is my product. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to put all into it. And then I watched the Stumpy's line grow from you walking up on me in the club when I was hosting Crave Thirsty Thursday. Like, hey, man, this is what I have. I'm like, oh, okay. And I bought them, like, sure, whatever. I was high and didn't realize. I mean, I was under the influence of the weed, and I was like, sure, whatever. And then I looked, and we got
I know where
talking.
my target market was on a Saturday night or Thursday.
Thursday night.
On a Thursday night, I'm like, I can't make money anywhere else at this time. I'm going to the club. And
that's it. You run into the stoners and the alkies and everybody like, yeah, I need a munchie. Yeah, I need something to eat. And just like I said, after talking to you, watching you do it, and even the progression, man, from your stumps to the logs to the chocolate. To the truck, like your freaking food truck, man, and like established and set up. I was like, now that's what it's about, progression and steps. Yeah. And it wasn't until you asked me to come on, if I wouldn't mind being on the show, I was like, heck yeah, I'll come support you, man. And then I was like, well, what am I going to talk about? And as I sat down and looked, like, geez, from 2009, literally up until this point, it has been an amazing ride, man. I mean, I've been blessed to meet a lot of who's who in the industry. Like a few of them, we exchange phone numbers. We conversate on a consistent basis, and it's still mind blowing to me. Even some of the actress females I'm friends with, or be DMing and all that kind of stuff. It's like, wow. I never thought I mean, and I have to be honest. Not that I didn't doubt that I would be successful.
Yeah.
But there's certain times and areas of life I was like, wow, I didn't even think I would even be here. Like you saw my post the other day, like there's a lot of stuff that's happened in my life. I didn't even shoot for it. It just came to me.
Yep.
Like Magic Video, hosting that, I didn't even shoot for it. It came to me. But I'm blessed and fortunate to be a part of that. Like those of y'all who aren't familiar with Magic Video, like I said, it's 30 years in Austin of supporting local and Texas talent. You know what I mean? Like, there aren't video shows anymore. Last ones we all remember, like the 106 in Park. So when MTV actually played videos, you know, many moons ago. And to sustain and survive over 30 years, man, being able to, one, we had that much talent coming out of Austin. And then two,
constantly,
you know, he had a passion for it. And even his passion helped me understand, like I said, being around business people, creators, entrepreneurs, you learn and you catch things. You pick up certain tools and things like that and tricks from these guys. You know, like I said, I picked up from you, like I said, about being persistent, having a goal. Because like you heard say, yeah, we want you to bring it back, but no, that was your goal to see if I could do this. You know what I mean?
Get it over with, and then use that as a quote unquote resume experience prerequisite for what I'm doing now.
Yes.
Because I'm speaking to Chamber of Commerce's now, bro.
Yes, I've been seeing you, man, and I have to say,
much more
like,
coming out, so just keep paying attention. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, just to watch you, man. I mean, and this has literally been about 12-month cycle, 16 months, something like that for you.
Yeah, realistically.
You know, and I mean, I'm truly proud.
Publicly putting myself out there, as my own brand in business.
Yes.
And no, I'm glad you're saying that, because this show is, you know, we're talking brands, we're talking business, but obviously the show's not about me right now. But I'm glad someone on the outside has paid attention and said, wait a second, this dude ran a business, but used the business as a prerequisite for talking about business. Because nowadays, me and we know people all day long that I got this going on, I got that going on, or I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm an expert.
Yeah.
But then they have no prior success from anything else.
Correct.
It's like, I know what it's like to sit at the farmer's market on 100-degree weather when the chocolate's melting, to turning it into convenience stores, a food truck, call centers, where money's coming in 7 different ways. But anyways, now with your experience with what you've been doing since, 05, 04, whatever it was,
just like,
it's been growth to where you understand not just industry talk, but you understand why things happen how they do.
Correct.
And by you being around people, like when I went to LA to go shoot with Nash 83 was a production company.
Nice.
I'm in Santa Clarita in the mountains and, outside of LA. I learned what a real big production looks like, because this little local Austin stuff is cool. But when you go and see 80 people on set, that are getting paid, it's like, whoa, wait a second.
Yeah, or like when we did Alita, James Cameron produced it, Robert Rodriguez directed. Yeah. We started out with a $200 million budget. Mm-hmm. Like, in my mind, I'm like, $200 million, it just like didn't click. But when I walked onto Troublemaker Studio soundstage, and they were like, okay, you're going to be half human cyborg. Okay, put this on. Go here. I'm getting scanned like I'm becoming an action figure. I'm watching all the technical stuff. And the same people who did all of the CGI on Alita was the same team that did all the CGI and everything for the Lord of the Rings trilogies. Yeah. They are the same people that designed it, created all that stuff. And to watch them work was amazing and mind-blowing. Like you said, to see how much goes into the production of one movie, and so that's why now to be where I'm at, like I said, I have a documentary that'll be coming out here in a couple weeks, here in about a week or two roughly. I just shot 2 videos and edited. One's already posted on Instagram, YouTube, all that for my artists. I actually have 7 videos I've shot and edited for them, because of the experience that I've gained through the acting. And then that's what I consider the progression, because like I said, I own a media company. Yeah. So being a media company, I believe you should grow and expand into all aspects of media. Like I said, I have movie script we're working on and everything to start shooting my first movie, actual feature film this summer. You know what I mean? Like, just to watch and to grow, like I said, it's been I won't pretend for any of y'all, anybody that may see this, like, it's been so smooth and champagne and, man, Big Willie style. No. Like I said, I made a couple bad investments. At one point in the stock market, I literally lost 10 grand. I watched me lose 10 grand. That is such a disheartening feeling. I've So like when I first started this, I had an E500 Benz. I got rid of that. Now I have a car that's paid for, but I'm not ashamed and I'm not embarrassed
Yeah.
because my bank account looks better.
Yeah.
My house, I mean, so like there has been sacrifices, what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I sacrificed relationship, love life, kids, marriage, all that for right now to build what I'm doing
No.
because I understand the amount of commitment it takes, the things, the attention to detail. And many people don't understand entrepreneur life. They think, man, you can have a wife, you can do this.
Yeah, but you
You
you got to get it going where it can sustain itself without you physically having to be there at all times. And that's one thing I
correct.
learned with the whole Stumpy's dessert business was I only let it get to a certain level because I didn't want to take it to another level because I didn't want it to go to another level. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes,
When something is just a prerequisite, my in my mind was how much can I handle on my own and then maybe bring somebody to help with,
correct.
specific things, but I don't want it to go to big time, big time, big time.
Yeah,
I
two
know
factories and all this
yeah, I
kind of
know
stuff.
maybe I might have thrown a little few things out there, but I wasn't really being serious. I was just like, oh, yeah, yeah. But I knew it's only going to last this long and then I'm bouncing. But
Correct. And that's it. That timeline you set for yourself, that's something that, like I said, I paid attention to as far as when I started promoting like some of my clothing line, different things. And I was
yeah,
like, man, if it doesn't work, and I can't, I got to cap it. I've got to change how I'm doing it. Okay, this distributor is eating too much of my profit, eating too much here. Okay, let's change that. Like I've changed distribution labels
yep.
even with
You
my
learn.
music,
Yeah, you learn.
So, and that's why it's a formula, but it's not an exact science to this entrepreneur thing.
Yes.
Because like I said, like I know, and many other guys we've seen, worked with, through this timeline and everything that you have to have a drive and a passion. That's going to be the only thing, honestly, that gets you through a lot of those
Yeah, yeah.
nights where you're doing 12-hour days, 15-hour days, things like that. And yeah, you had a great month last month, but
And
this
then
month seems
it
to be
goes
eating
down.
all your profit,
Yep, yep.
or
What
like, yeah,
No, okay, so let me ask you because we're gonna wrap it up now. For all the young hustlers or even of age hustlers that are because they might have started late. They might have got into let's say the entertainment game at 40 years old or at 30 years old and they're not 18 years old getting in the game. But for anybody now that is not seeing the results that they want or they're not it's not happening as fast for them because nowadays of course you get on Instagram, everybody's balling, everybody's doing this, everybody doing that. So just to close out, what advice do you have for those people that are barely getting in the game and are kind of getting discouraged based on results not coming fast?
it's going to sound cliche, but celebrate and enjoy the small accomplishments, the small
Mm,
steps, like, okay, and I'll make this as short as possible. Okay, in the beginning, I had another name for my company.
yeah, yeah.
I went through a situation with copyright lawsuit and everything. We were both trying to file it, and whoever got it done first would own the name. It
Yeah.
was, big thing. So I eventually changed my name to what it is now,
Okay.
Billionaire Eventually Media Group. Well, the Billionaire Eventually part came about because at the time, I didn't realize the type of impact I was really having through Twitter and Facebook with the
Okay.
music and the artists I was promoting. Well, the rapper Rick Ross, who everybody knows,
Yeah.
he put out a mixtape. And well, first we were friends on Google Plus. You remember those
Yeah.
days?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were friends on Google Plus, and I was like, "What?" What?
Yeah.
And so I had promoted a song called Kool-Aid for my artist Joe Billionaire. Well, Rick Ross liked it so much as he was listening to it. He actually liked the post because he was listening to the
Yeah.
song. He borrowed the line because the song was basically talking about sipping lean, but he would call it purple Kool-Aid, purple
Okay.
lemonade. Well, that's where Rick Ross got that from. He got it from that song. That's a hip hop history moment for those of y'all listening. It's a true story. You can still find the song on somewhere on the site somewhere called Kool-Aid. And so when I heard it, I was like, sipping purple lemonade, what? Then he used the line, said, hustler, he say, billionaire eventually, hustler of the century, source cover, man of the year, envy me. I was like, that's a dope bar. Billionaire eventually, huh? I said, okay, I'm going to take that from you. And I registered as a business. Like we're legit.
Thank you, Rick
You know,
Ross.
yeah, legit federal, state, Texas registered business, like Billionaire Eventually Media Group.
That's dope.
He saw it, and he actually liked the post. It was funny, so we've been indirectly, talking to each other about it. And I was like, why not use that name?
Yeah.
And everybody thought like Billionaire Eventually, man. And, well, it's a mindset, and this is to all you entrepreneurs, young hustlers, and everything like that. If you fix your mind, the mind will make the eyes see. You understand what I'm saying? Then the brain processes what the eyes see. So you have to speak, or as y'all love to say now, y'all have to manifest these things. So you have to speak life, speak it into existence, and then not only just speak it, but believe it, man. Like you heard me say the whole time, it takes believing right here. The whole time, no matter what, it's going to work. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'll be the first to tell you, it's been, some hard times, so to speak. But as I made myself remember to celebrate and enjoy the small victories, the small steps, that's what made me sit back, like you heard me say, excited. Man, dang, wait, I have a commercial that has almost 1 million views. We're going to be the first one in China history. Oh, man, we did this. Oh, man, I popped up in this commercial. Oh, man, wow, I'm literally in a leader. Yeah, I'm background extra, but I'm in the movie literally from the beginning of the movie until the very end.
Damn.
I clipped every single scene I'm in from the, start of the movie. So
that's cool.
I was like, and Fear the Walking Dead, I didn't even submit for that. I didn't even know till somebody else told me. It was like, they're coming. And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I just got cast on the show. It's like, I didn't even know. I had never watched the episode a day of my life.
That's just how it happens. But, man, I'm sure we got so much we can talk about, but we got to keep it an hour show. But I appreciate your time, Jarrod Dixon. Obviously, we got your info on the screen. Definitely. They can find you online. Definitely, you're doing something beautiful, not just for the city, for yourself, but also for people around you that you're putting on. So I appreciate your time for coming on to the Heat Tank.
Thank you for having me, man. And like I said, man, all you young entrepreneurs, man, just keep grinding, baby. Keep grinding, baby.